Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born.
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
It's you and the senorita. Whooper blowing up the tweeter, cause it's me up in the speaker. Knocking the mama seat top down like a player. And the sound up in your ears, it is the dopest rhyme. Say I run a game like a cheater.
So we are joined on the show today by one of the stars of the number one movie on the face of the planet at the moment. Very, very excited. If this is your first time hearing him, he's been on the show a bunch in the past, but if you're listening in Florida and haven't had a chance to catch him in the past, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what we're calling today the Randal Reader Power Hour. Give it up for our special guest, Randal Reader. How are you today, sir?
Man, I'm good. If I was any better, that'd be two of me.
So, in case you're not familiar with his work, Randal Reader has a pivotal role in Deadpool. And what's the politest way of describing this? Well, all right, you know him probably as Big Bob from Harold and Kumar. Escape from Guantanamo Bay. You might have seen him. You were in episodes of Walker, Texas Ranger back in the day. You got your ass kicked by Chuck Norris.
Yeah,
like that
legendary.
would ever happen. You were in 21 Jump Street. You were in all manner of things. You were in Grandma's Boy.
Yeah.
It was so funny because like I posted a blog about you for one of the stations that we're on, and immediately people were like, "Sucks to be you, nerd." I was just like,
it's like great. One of my smallest roles, but just that crowd, that audience, man. That I'm a stoner hero.
You really are, and but the thing is, like, I mean, first and foremost, if you haven't seen Deadpool, go out and see it. It's pretty much my favorite movie of the year, and I know it's early on in the year, but I'm sure it will remain my favorite movie of the year for the rest of the year. So freaking good. If you're a comic book fan and you get antsy the way I do about the way Hollywood treats beloved comic book heroes, no worries. You're going to love it from start to finish. It is absolute, pure, wonderful, unadulterated genius, and it is true to your nerdy sensibilities. And if you've never read the comic book, it's still freaking fantastic. And Randal has a key pivotal moment in the film where his most intimate of areas is grabbed with some force by Deadpool's girlfriend.
Whoa,
and
man. Whoa.
And like, there's all these things that you are known as. You've been Big Bob from Harold and Kumar. You've been Sucks to be you, nerd from Grandma's Boy. You were in Idiocracy. You were in Leaves of Grass. You fired George Bush in W.
Yeah.
Playing the oil rig foreman. But the moment the words were uttered on screen, I was like, this is who he's going to be for the next 5 years
Fat
at least.
Gandalf.
Fat Gandalf,
Dude,
man.
I can't wait to be recognized as Fat Gandalf instead of Big Bob.
No one shouted at you in the street yet?
Not yet. But
Oh
I have
my gosh.
had people shout. Literally, I was walking down down the street in Honolulu. I was out there for a film festival that a film I directed won an award there. So we were there, and people are yelling, "Cock meat sandwich!" and "Big Bob!" And it's like,
one moment. You should explain, Funkhauser, that we are not in delay.
Oh, did you say something naughty just now?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah, he did.
We'll have to go back. Let me just take this button here and beep, beep, beep.
All right, then. But yes.
Sandwich.
It was I think it would be a bleep meat sandwich. So you've gone from being the bleep meat sandwich guy to being Fat Gandalf.
Gandalf, and I'm looking so forward to that.
As much joy as Randal Reader has brought you on screen and will continue to do in the future, Randal is, in my humble approximation, one of the great thinkers of this century. A man who knows an awful lot about an awful lot.
Well, I
a
just
man
listen
who
to Joe Rogan a lot.
It's very a great philosopher of our times. Is I think history will remember you not only as a great actor that made people laugh by being the bleep meat sandwich guy in Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, and also being the being the legendary Fat Gandalf from Deadpool. You'll also be remembered as one of our time's great thinkers. So, quick question for you. In the run-up to pulling the lever for democracy this year, where we elect a new president of these United States of America and leader of the free world, who does Randall Reeder like? Well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll do it when we get back. Thank you so much for hanging out. Tweet us at ADSXE, at FunkFM. Where can people hit you up, Randall?
Oh, yeah. Facebook, Randall Reeder. Go to Twitter. You know it better than I do, AD. I think it's at Randall Reeder. 1 L, 3 E's.
Let's start the show. 3 hot AC from your radio live and uncut. Tonight, you're cutting loose and having fun. Cause that's my job, and my job's about to get done. Yeah, that's how I'm operating. And I'll beg motherfucker for cooperating. When I say, put your hands up, touch the sky. If you're really feeling really good, then wave them from side to side. It's time for a little rebellion. And this hellion in front of you is telling you the things you gotta do. Check 1, 2, is this thing live? Cause it's time for the party and the first stage dive. Say ho, whoa, ho, whoa. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Say ho, ho, say ho, whoa, ho, whoa. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Every day we're going and working, running the rat race in that pace and that place. We'll leave a bad taste for anyone, everyone working day after day. So, buddy, I gotta say that there has gotta be a better way. Work every day until the day you're done. Or maybe tonight, have a little freaking fun. So stop what you're doing, drop what you're doing, drop ideas in the house, and it's time for you to rock. Please don't stop, rep your flock, make them proud. Now get loud, get crunk, get crazy, amaze me and make me say, yeah, baby. Let me hear now from the front to the back. Let me hear your voices shake this shack. Let me know, yo, why you came to the show. Let me know how loud your voice will go. Say ho, say ho, whoa, ho, whoa. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Say ho, ho, say ho, whoa, ho, whoa. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Say ho, say ho, whoa, ho, whoa. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
I do what I want, when I want, how I want. Every day you're going and working, running that rat race at that pace in that place. Will leave a bad taste for anyone, everyone working day after day. So buddy, I gotta say, yo, there's gotta be a better way, yeah. And you do what they told ya. Company man, feel it, a mindless little soldier. How can you live like that and maintain your composure before it's begun? Your life's already freaking over. Yeah, I do what I want, when I want.
So Randall Reeder, one of the stars of Deadpool, is our guest today. Known in the past as being the bleep meat sandwich guy, Big Bob from Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay. He was just like, I can't wait to be recognized as Fat Gandalf from Deadpool. And it's already happened, Randall. Lisa on Twitter hit us up. Very excited that Fat Gandalf is on the show. She knew exactly who you were, too. This is a regular listener to the show that was super excited. Took her fiance as a surprise to see Deadpool. And couldn't have loved the movie
such a
more.
tender Valentine's Day moment.
It's such a... All right, so, I was part of the marketing campaign for Deadpool. it was my job, and I signed up for it lickety freaking split. It was my job to go see the Deadpool movie and then go talk about it on the radio before it came out. And I actually saw the movie before Randall did. I remember, like, I texted him, I was like, "You were great," and he was like, "Whew, they didn't edit me out." It was awesome. Was there really that fear that you would be edited out when you were like, I mean, you had top billing in the movie. Like, for those that don't know, I guess it's a bit of an industry insider thing, but Randall's name runs sort of like at the front end of the credits. It's an opening credit thing as opposed to the long litany of people involved with the movie at the end, which is sort of like a demonstrative of your significance. But if you get that, there's no way they're editing you out, right?
No, you wouldn't think so. But there's always that, because as an actor, you've always had that traumatic experience of taking your family to Benihana's and then going out to the movies, and you got like 12 people with you to go see yourself on the silver screen, and there you aren't in Office Space. You know, I was deleted completely out of Office Space, you know, and you just never know. You just never know.
What were you in Office Space?
I was their nightmare once they got to prison. Remember they had the one where they were sentenced? Yeah. I was their nightmare. Yeah. I was basically a younger version of Big Bob, but I wasn't a prison guard. I was actually a prisoner.
You were an inmate.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is you get cast in these roles. Where for those that aren't familiar with what Randall looks like, what are you, 6'4", 6'5"? Yeah. You're a walking wall of a man, and you are a physically imposing individual, and you look like you could, without even thinking about it, kill somebody with your thumb, which I'm sure you probably could. But here's the thing that people don't necessarily realize is, like, you're cast as this big scary guy a lot of the time because, well, you can be big and scary. But you're really, really funny, and I think maybe Grandma's Boy made use of the fact that you were funny. But this is this is the first time I've really sort of like seen you in a flick where, like, people went, "Oh, this guy's." Now, was that you, or did they go and go be funny? You know, like the facial expressions you had during your fight scene with Deadpool's girlfriend Morena.
That was pretty much me. I mean, you know, I got some direction, but no, I mean that's. You know, I just acted like someone grabbed me by the you-knows, and it's not really that difficult to act like that. But,
depends whether it's happened or not.
Well, I've lived a full life.
Well, but didn't you say that, like, Morena, Deadpool's girlfriend,
right?
When you had your little when you had your fight scene with her, didn't she say, like, really lay into me, actually kind of like hit me?
Yeah, you know, because, you know, as an actor, you're always kind of a little timid about that, you know, and you never know, because some actresses or actors don't want you to really touch them much or lay it in, and she's just like, "Hey, really lay that in for me because I need to react from it." And I'm like, okay, and I'm like, smack, and she's like, no, I mean, like, I really need you to lay that in so I can react. And I was like, okay, this is going to be a fun day of work to explain.
Right. Yeah. Now, so, I mean, you know, when she said, like, it's okay if you really, really smack me, like, during our fight scene, did you say to her, and, you know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, so if you feel like really, really grabbing the cash and prizes and causing actual pain and reproductive problems moving forward.
I did not.
Okay.
I did not utter those words. I did not want a tit for tat on that one.
Right. I can imagine that you would not. Well, the scene is freaking fantastic, and if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, go see it. I don't think it's really been a difficult thing to do, getting people to go see that flick. It broke all sorts of records. Well, isn't it like the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time ever?
Yeah, I think it was, it seems like, I believe it was around 12 million, which 50 Shades of Grey was 9 million. Wow. And you would think that would be the highest grossing R-rated film of all time, and it was, until Deadpool came and just crushed it.
That's crazy. So let me ask you this: what was because I know there's people in there's people in comic book land nerding out about this right now, and really, you know, usually people want to hear us chat about whatever the hell we're going to chat about. But right now, anybody that's listening that is involved in the comic book world wants to know is, what was it like making the movie? What was it like working with Ryan Reynolds? Like, is he really as stellar of an individual as he seems to be?
Yeah, totally cool, down to earth, funny, kept the whole room up. almost like a comedian working it. Just a nice guy, a genuinely nice guy. He yelled at me at one point. I'm over in my corner doing my thing, and he's like, Randall, come here. And I hear that, and I'm walking through the crowd of, grips and everyone just running around doing their jobs. And I get over to him, and I see that Blake's standing next to him. He's like, I want you to meet my wife, Blake. He's like, Blake, this is Randall. He's a badass. And I'm just like, wow, what an introduction,
Yeah.
But
well,
just a super nice guy.
To be fair, you are a badass. More with Randall Reeder when we get back.
With puppies in my face, and Dad gotta join the human race. Time for a yawn and a stretch and a walk, you see. They know my aura at the restaurant across the street. That's why when I shuffle in, my coffee's already waiting for me. Breeze on the patio, outdoor table, sitting with my puppies, Homer and Mabel, wondering how the rest of the day will be. Just then the kid stops by and Homer jumps up to say hi. Laughing kids and happy dogs, and yeah, that's kinda all you need. Sunshine coming my way, nothing's gonna change how I feel today. Nothing's gonna get in the way of my perfect day. Sunshine coming my way, nothing's gonna change how I feel today. Nothing's gonna get in the way of my perfect day. Today is a lot like Ice Cubes, but definitely much less gangster. With a start like this on a day like this, it's good to be this white boy prankster. I don't push a Benz, love my BMW, drive an old drop top, it's what I love to do, and it gets me to work on time to say hello to you on your radio. Mad money, no, but I love what I do on the radio. Hear me yell the whole night through. I'm feeling so lucky that I can be the voice that you hear in this great big city. I rock on your radio, then head home. My puppy's gonna meet me at the door. So excited for a moonlight walk. I think they've never done this before, and it's all good. Sunshine coming my way, nothing's gonna change how I feel today. Nothing's gonna get in the way of my perfect day. Sunshine coming my way, nothing's gonna change how I feel today. Nothing's gonna get in the way of my perfect day. It's all what you make of it. It's all what you make of it, yeah. It's all what you make of it. It's all what you make of it, yeah. Sunshine coming my way, nothing's gonna change how I feel today. Nothing's gonna get in the way of my perfect day. Sunshine, it's all what you make of it. Change how I feel today. Nothing's gonna get, it's all what you make of it, yeah.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radio Land. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah, give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. You do what we do. You do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. You do what we do. You do what we do. Well, it's a new one. Here I come again, coming again, taking it back to the place.
We are joined on the show today, if you're just joining us, by Randall Reeder, one of the stars of Deadpool, who plays a character called Buck, who, I don't know, you might have to be a bit of a comic book nerd to know this, but is this character called Bullet, who actually, there's so much potential for you if you wind up sticking with this character to cross over into so many other sort of like versions of Marvel reality. Your character was sort of, I think the first time we see him, or the first time we get a taste of who he is and what he can do, is in the Daredevil series. So there's like potential for this to go everywhere if it winds up being something that the powers that be decide to stick with and develop. I don't know.
Like. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, and like I don't know. It's so funny because your scene is so pivotal to the story, and you're so freaking funny in it, and so memorable. And I swear to God, Fat Gandalf will live forever. And I think it's just going to be a character that people want to see more of. Like
Man,
I think
hope
it's
so.
Yeah. I mean, out of all the movies you've made, and there have been a ton, was this some of the most fun you've had?
Yeah, absolutely. It was great. It was up in Vancouver, which was an amazing town. It's Marvel. I mean, I'm like, wow, this is happening,
Yeah.
And then, getting the billing that I got and they treated me great, and it was amazing. I was up there for like 3 weeks to work, not very long. I mean, we just did a lot of training, and it was just really cool, man. The whole experience was amazing.
That's awesome. I'm getting tweets from Lisa, who's a longtime listener of the show, and she's like, "My mind is just about blown right now. Wants to know if you have a favorite scene. If so, what? Not necessarily Deadpool or Harold and Kumar, but like, do you have a favorite scene that you've been in?
Oh, a favorite scene that I've been in? Gosh, as soon as I say one, I'll think of another one. But I guess I would have to just go up quickly off the top of my head. I mean, being across from Edward Norton and long scene, long wordy scene where we're back and forth exchanging dialogue and banging heads. It was just amazing. But then, of course, the same movie, I'm right beside Richard Dreyfuss, which just, I mean, some of the conversations off screen were just incredible for those few days. And then working with Oliver Stone was a dream. I don't know. Like I say, it goes on and on, but crazy.
It's quite the life that you've led. Yeah, it's quite the life you've led. And I guess you and I have had this discussion before, but people are asking. And I always find it fun to get into, I guess, the origin stories of people that are on the show, whether they're musicians or actors or comics or what have you. And it comes from this time where I got a chance to ask Jerry Cantrell what the first record was that really reached him and made him think that he would be a musician with Jerry from Alice in Chains. And it's funny because I asked this question knowing what the answer would be because I'd heard it when I was a kid on the radio. And he, quick as a flash, he was like, "Oh, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road" by Elton John. That's the reason I do what I do today. For you, what was it that made you go, "This is it. I'm gonna be an actor. I have to be an actor. This is it"?
Well, there were moments along, as a kid watching Tex Cobb and people like that. But I'd have to say unequivocally, like I went to see Predator, with Arnold Schwarzenegger and all that in it. And when Jesse Ventura was just mowing down the forest with a minigun and just, I ain't got time to bleed. I was just like, wow. He was a pro wrestler. He turned actor. I've got the opportunity to be a pro wrestler. I could go do that. And so I went into pro wrestling intending on making that switch. Because I knew, my dad knew some older pro wrestlers and their quality of life, our quality of life, just really goes quick, and so I didn't want to do it my entire life like some of those guys did. So I got in it to make the switch. I kind of I used pro wrestling to get ahead, much like The Rock, only not as successful as him.
Right. Well, that's kind of catching lightning in a bottle, right. The principles are the same though.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was it. I mean, I saw Jesse Ventura and was just like, wow, And it's kind of crazy because there's so many other affinities I have with Jesse Ventura, being such the conspiracy theorist that I am. So.
Well, you still have the portion of your career where you go on to become governor of Minnesota.
Well, I would rather be president of Texas. I mean, governor of Texas.
It's funny. We did this thing on the show a little while ago. For those that don't know, Randall Reeder hails from Houston, Texas, and you split your time between there and you split your time between Hollywood, California, and a little town that, unless you're from Texas, you probably don't know of, called Carthage, Texas.
Yeah.
Truly God's country in many people's estimation. But it's very interesting. We talked on the show a while ago about there was a list places, states that the rest of America thinks America could do without. Like, if we were going to get rid of a state, what would it be? And what do you suppose those were? And in number one, have a guess, Randall. States in America that America doesn't feel are necessary.
I don't know. It depends on which Americans you asked. If you ask my friends out here in Hollywood, I'm sure Texas is like way up there.
Well, so what's funny is in at number one, California. Like, the rest of the country is like, we could do without them.
Okay, so we're talking about the yeah. Okay, there you go.
And then in at number two, New York. People
Right.
just like, and then number three was Texas. But like, I was like, you gotta kind of. Number three was Texas, but even the study said you have to take into account the number of people in Texas that want to secede from the rest of the country, and like part of that comes from there. But these are like. Now you're in this club too, Texas and Los Angeles. I'm from New York.
I'm in two of the three places.
Well, try this on for size, bucko. I'm from New York, lived in Texas, now California. I am on paper the most objectionable person on the face of the planet. Like, people don't want anything.
You going to move to Paris next?
Yeah. Hey, who's Ryan Reynolds? Very naturally funny, right? I mean, like, has to be.
Yeah. Oh, he's hilarious. I mean, he's just, like I say, it was like a comedian working the room. You know, he's a producer and the star of the show, so he's kind of, though the director Tim Miller's, amazing and leading the way. I'm sure he felt, he's kind of at the helm of the ship as well. And yeah, he just kept everybody lighthearted and having a good time, and funny guy.
To me, when I found out that he was playing Deadpool, which I think he did the first time in one of the Wolverine movies, I was like, "Oh God, that's perfect! That's perfect!" Because like, Deadpool is essentially Van Wilder if Van Wilder turned into a psychotic killer. Like, that's like he is the perfect casting for it. Like, it's kind of the role he was born to play, as evidenced by the fact that this is the hugest movie ever. But got a question from Twitter: who's funnier, Ryan Reynolds or TJ Miller?
Ooh, that's tough. TJ's just, oh man. TJ's kind of a buddy of mine. I know him through Mike Judge, and we've actually been out to Mike's ranch in Austin shooting 50 cals and all that. So with Alex Jones, oddly enough, if that's not a crazy bunch of people, me and Mike and TJ Miller shooting 50 cals out in Austin, or Austin, outside of Austin, Texas. But he's just a funny guy. I mean, TJ's hilarious, man.
So funny.
He doesn't know how to do anything but be hilarious.
Right.
So that's tough, because actually I would say, TJ, after every single take, TJ like added something that was just hilarious. Quite a few made it into the movie. I mean, where he would just say something, just riff on somebody right at the end, and they didn't cut it.
Right, it's so funny, so funny. The first I ever saw TJ Miller was, did you ever see a TV show? I think it only ran for a year, and I think probably because it wasn't all that great, called Carpoolers. Did you ever see that?
I do remember that movie, that show. I didn't watch it, but I had seen it. Yeah.
Like, Jerry O'Connell was in it, Mr. Rebecca Romaine guy,
right.
And he was in it playing a character called Marmaduke, one of the commuter's sons. And if you get a chance, I don't know if it's posted online anywhere, go back and watch T.J. Miller in Carpoolers as Marmaduke.
Am I crazy,
so
or
funny.
did it seem to have a little bit of that? The feel of never mind. I can't remember. I just dropped the series, the one that's so popular right now, Modern Family. Didn't it kind of have a Modern Family feel before Modern Family?
I think it did. I mean, like, the Modern Family thing, I think, is like very. I think the idea is that none of the family units are traditional in the nuclear sense. Like, right. You have, but yeah, no, it totally felt like that. In fact, like, it's set in the same sort of like California suburb and everything, and absolutely had that kind of vibe to it. You might find that some of the producers or writers worked on this on both shows or something. But yeah,
TJ's a funny guy though, man. Really funny guy. But so's Ryan. Everybody was just so cool. It's absolutely one of the greatest experiences ever.
It's, Jerry Seinfeld said once that when he decided he wanted to be a comedian, his origin story was finding out that there were comics and people that made a living. And he had no idea what it would be like to go up on stage and tell jokes. He just knew he wanted to be one of those people, like one of those people that hung out and wittily bantered for a living, or like, hung out in a group of wittily bantering friends. And trust me, that's what everybody thinks of when they're thinking of this movie being made. They're seeing you being hilarious. They're seeing T.J. Miller and Ryan Reynolds being hilarious. They're like, that looks like so much fun. And it's interesting to hear that it really was.
Yeah, it really was.
So we're going to get into the news in just a little bit. But Randall, besides being, like we said, a hilarious individual and a great actor and an all-around nice guy, is also one of our time's great thinkers, I believe, a philosopher, and someone who wears his politics on his sleeve. He has brought redneck sensibilities to Hollywood, California. And here's the thing: you did it, and you were embraced in uber liberal Hollywood. People like to know you is to love you, and that's a neat trick to pull off when you are who you are, where you are. You even started a production company, Red State Productions.
Yeah, Red State Entertainment, absolutely. Just flying my flag, man. It's devoted to conservative content. I mean, the majority of Americans are denied content. I was with this multimillionaire old guy one day in Texas, and he said, "Man, how come all the stuff coming out of Hollywood's all liberal?" And he just talked just like that, even though he makes like $80 million a year. And
right.
I said, liberal money finances liberal movies. You want to change it? Put conservative money behind conservative movies. And boom, I was like, hey.
And he did?
No, not yet.
Oh.
But I decided to start a production company. So it just kind of came from something that babbled out of my mouth.
Interesting. And do you have anything in the works? Wasn't there sort of like an updated John the Baptist story that you were working on? Yeah,
we've got a film called The Baptist that we're working on. It's kind of funny, man, because the duality that is my life. I just finished up 10 episodes of a faith-based sitcom, or a family sitcom, produced by the faith-based company Pure Flix, which did God's Not Dead and all those movies and like so much ton of stuff. And then literally the next weekend, so I go to the wrap party, and then the crew and everybody shows up to my Deadpool premiere, my Randall Reader premiere. And it's just the dichotomy of being this squeaky clean, wholesome, wearing a bunny suit all through it. And then I'm in the highest rated, or the highest grossing R-rated movie of all times in the same month.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, Deadpool's great. Deadpool's great, but it is Caligula meets Sodom and Gomorrah while Hitler watches in a lot of ways. Yeah. Like it's like it is. Now, any of the people that worked with you on your sort of like family friendly, not faith based, but sort of faith based sitcom, did that change your working relationship with any of them after they saw you in Deadpool? No. Actually, I was
on the beach with David A.R. White, which is probably the Tom Hanks of the faith-based world. I mean, he's done like 50 movies, and he produces them, and he stars in them as well. And we were playing volleyball the other day out in Malibu, and I was talking to him about it, and I basically told him that, I was like, wow, this crazy life we live. And he was just like, yeah, that's an actor for you, man, Now, with me, I am leaning more, I'm actually moving more into conservative film and all that, and really trying to do that, and, producing The Baptist, which is a film we have that, is kind of parallels. It's sort of a modern-day Baptist. Not really, but it's modern-day John the Baptist. It echoes it. And it's just a great film.
Hey,
it's just a funny film, a good film.
More on that and more with Randall Reader when we get back. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Podcast kid from the 212. New York City so gritty, I'm steady coming at you. But I got that south in my mouth, I emigrated, I made it. And in the age I can shine, in NYC I was faded. New York to H-Town is a move I made. East Coast to Third Coast, and I'm glad I stayed. New York, that's where all my dues were paid. But now in H-Town, I got it made. 7 to the 1, 1 to the 2. Come on everybody, rep the city for me. 7 to the 1, 1 to the 2. Come on everybody, rep the city for me. Whoa, 713, whoa, 713, whoa, 713. I live in 212, I live in 713.
Now, more AD on the radio.
Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me. Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me.
We are back with Randall Reeder, friend of the show, longtime friend of the show. If you are listening on Real Radio 104.1 in Orlando, this might be the first time you're hearing him. If you're listening in Houston, you know exactly who he is, and you are stoked to hear him again. But he's back for a number of reasons. One, we like to have him hang out. Two, he is one of the stars of the new Deadpool flick, which sounds like it was an amazing experience. He plays a character called, if you haven't seen the movie yet, he plays a character called Buck, who you're going to see dust it up with Deadpool's girlfriend, and the smack that you see in the movie is the real deal.
Oh, hurts just thinking about it.
She was like, "Hit ya," and like Funkhauser, you're sitting next to Randall right now.
Yeah,
Randall, hold up your hand.
Yeah.
Can you picture that connecting with your face and you getting up and doing anything afterwards?
It would pretty much cover my face, and that would be it. Bye.
Yeah.
Well, luckily it was not her face.
Still, it was your hand.
It was.
Which is a damaging thing. Let's more from Randy Reeder about Deadpool after we take a look at the events of today in our segment My Witness News.
Well, lots of news today.
Lots of news today.
The botched release of Kanye West's new album has already cost him $10 million.
Oof. $10 million. So, do you know what happened with it? Like, apparently it was going to be only on Tidal, that streaming service that Jay-Z had. And then it was going to be for sale, and it wasn't going to be for sale, and then it got downloaded illegally a certain number of times, and some illegal download aggregators worked out that if people had bought it the number of times it had been illegally downloaded, he would have made $10 million in like the first day of it. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I want my money back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't download it. I didn't know.
Do you,
Excuse me, the long flush.
Botch release of Kanye West's new album cost him $10 million. So just something to remember the next time someone tries to tell you there's never any good news. Do you like Kanye West music, Randall?
You know, actually, I do. That's a dark secret that I'm a fan of Jay-Z and Kanye. Not their behavior as people necessarily, but yeah, I love their music.
I struggle with Kanye West because I honestly think musically, and people laugh at me when I say this, musically he's a genius.
Yeah.
He's won. I think the world's lost count of how many Grammys he's won, even when he was just Jay-Z's producer. If you look at his body of work, not even if you're going to qualify it with the number of records sold, but the number of hits he's created, the number of pieces of music that have connected with people on a massive level. I think, here's the thing. When he says, I'm a genius, he might actually be a genius of some description, but it's gotten to the point where who he is as a person gets in the way of me enjoying his music.
Completely.
Where I'm just
why won't he just shut up and be humble and let everyone else call him genius?
Yeah, or just shut up.
Yeah.
One of the things I always like about Leonardo DiCaprio is that you really don't know a whole lot about him off screen. He had that fortuitous circumstance where he was in the biggest movie freaking ever when he was in Titanic, and after that, you didn't really hear or see much of him, and it makes it that much easier to get invested in the character he's playing.
James
when you're
Gandolfini's, you've got a lot of the great actors, a lot of the great celebrities, they drop out of society. And it makes them more elusive. It makes it absolutely, suspension of disbelief works much better than these celebrities that go out there and try to be celebrities. These actors. I mean, you think about what happened with Angelina Jolie, a great actress, but now it's like it's kind of messed up her films for you. You don't really. You think of her because she was such a celebrity. And I'm not saying that was necessarily her fault. It's not like she pulled a Kim Kardashian and tried to be famous for the sake of being famous. But to me, it hurts her as an actress.
Yeah.
And it hurts Kanye big time.
Yeah. No, it stops me from being able to enjoy... It stops me from being able to enjoy his music because his record comes on, and as opposed to going like, that's my jam, I go, this guy's a jackass.
Yeah.
Like... what else, Funkhauser?
A fan created a GoFundMe page to raise money for Kanye.
Yeah. He said he's like $53 million in debt or something like that.
Wow. He actually raps about that, talking about, somebody pulls up next to him in their Bentley and he's like, mine's bought and his is probably rented. I mean,
right.
He actually talks about spending too much money often.
I am looking at Kanye's GoFundMe page, Get Kanye Out of Debt. They have raised $4,127 of the $53 million needed. But that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
He should just sell his jewelry.
We must be the Medici family to Kanye. is what they're saying. Well, that sets an unhealthy historical precedent. Yeah, so send some money to Kanye now and officially confirm your status as the worst person on earth. Go on, what else?
Well, I don't know if you guys saw this, but in a backstage rant before SNL, Kanye West declared himself more influential than Stanley Kubrick, Picasso, the Apostle Paul, and Pablo Escobar.
You want to take this one, Randall?
Dude, I mean, that's exactly what we were just talking about. Like, how could you do that? I mean, okay, let's set aside, forget about Pablo Escobar. Picasso, I mean, he had no influence on Stanley Kubrick, one of the greatest filmmakers of all times. But the Apostle Paul, what? Like, he didn't even meet Jesus in the flesh, and like, he's a third of the New Testament. That's crazy.
It's interesting. I think something that Kanye said a little while ago, this was before the crazy train left the station, but he said, there's 20 characters in the Bible. If the Bible was written about today's times, are you trying to tell me I wouldn't be one of those characters? Come on. His words, not mine.
This is crazy talk, man.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is.
The Dumbing Up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
So, we're joined on the show by Randall Reeder today, actor, producer, star of Deadpool, and also one of this century's great thinkers, I think, and a self-proclaimed guy, bit of a conspiracy theorist. Right. I'm just trying to figure out if I want to pull at this thread, seeing as you actually went shooting with Mike Judge and Alex Jones in Austin, Texas.
Right.
We've got some news to get through, but the whole sort of like Alex Jones. Do we have Alex Jones crying, Funkhauser?
Oh, no.
Do we still have that piece of audio?
We don't have it handy. Oh.
You gotta get good people. Maybe dig that up. Maybe we can use it later on in the show. But like, he was the first to the party when it came to Antonin Scalia being murdered. Yeah, he said. Like, I think he was the first person to say that. And that, like I said, I'm just trying to figure out if we want to pull this thread with Randall.
Man, you know, I have law enforcement friends that have sent me private messages saying, "Dude, looks pretty sketchy to me." And that's even before I heard Alex Jones talking about it. He might have already said something, but I mean, instantly people started. These are law enforcement people, you know. So I don't know. I mean, the problem with calling it a conspiracy theorist, as I do, just like people call, you know, an AR-15 an assault rifle, and it's not. Well, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just actually observe things, and I happen to draw lines between these things. And besides, they become conspiracy facts so quick anymore, it's hard to call us conspiracy theorists anymore.
Well, it's the Henry Rollins once said that the essence of punk rock, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but the essence of punk rock is questioning authority, questioning what you're told, using your own noodle to figure something out, and not just taking what's handed to you. And if that's being a conspiracy theorist, I suppose then we all are in some way, shape, or form.
Or we all should
are sitting
be.
Here. Well, the people sitting here in this room are, is what I meant by the royal we. We're all conspiracy theorists in that way. And you know, I found myself thinking, like, okay, well, he was 79 years old and not in the greatest shape. And then I was like, ooh, that's the perfect cover. You know what I mean? I was just like... And then I looked at the clock. I was like, it's 3 a.m. I've been thinking about this long enough. I need to, like, do something to take my mind out of the game.
Well, it's funny, though, and I think sometimes they do... I wonder if they just do stuff just to, like, throw fake bait out to us because, you know, why would you not autopsy him? You know, I don't know. There's a lot of things. I mean, I'm not super into that particular conspiracy, but like I say, I've had law enforcement friends of mine private messaging me, you know, not putting it on my Facebook wall or anything, going, dude, check this out. Like, I don't know, man, this is pretty sketchy.
And these are law enforcement friends of yours in Texas, where not far from where this happened, right? Right. So really kind of straight from the horse's mouth. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, very
interesting. When I heard that he passed away with a pillow over his face, I was like, nah, my mom used to sleep with a pillow over her face. I don't know if that means anything, but like the little piece of the little piece of Alex Jones in me went, that is, that's, yeah.
Hey, you know, say what you want about Alex Jones, and you know, I mean, I don't agree with everything he says. I mean, totally, but he's right a lot of the time. You know,
Alex Jones is one of the most entertaining listens on the face of the planet, and he is, I think, the thing that allows Alex Jones to exist continuously and stop people from writing him off as part of the tinfoil hat crowd is the fact that I think he really walks it like he talks it. He's been right enough to where people go, "Oh, holy crap, he actually knows what's up." But I think the most important thing is that in these situations, you're real, and he is very real with it. He walks it like he talks it, and he is who he is, and he genuinely believes that he's doing something to move the ball of humanity further down the field by what he's doing. I think that's what makes him an interesting and compelling figure, and the fact that, you know, he's right a lot.
And he's necessary, whether he's right a lot or not, which he is, but he's necessary. I mean, you have to have that other opinion, man. I mean, it's 1984 if there's no other opinions.
Yes.
And I don't mean like a really good Van Halen album.
It's the Orwellian 1984, not the David Lee Roth 1984. One is really, really awesome.
And Drop Dead Legs. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so glad you said Drop Dead Legs, because when people think of that album, when people think of Van Halen, that song doesn't come up, but I think it might be their best song ever.
It's one of them. I mean, what's the one where, like, I got a drink in my hand, I got my toes in the sand, like Beautiful Girls or whatever.
Beautiful Girls, yeah.
I love that one. I think that's my favorite. But you know, Drop Dead Legs is just incredible, man, and they're so hard, like, you know, like a hard rocking song, man.
Yeah, I heard it, and I almost thought like they listened to Back in Black by AC/DC and went, "We got to do something like that." Yeah, or something, just the way the guitar riff works and things of that nature. Hey, let's do a little bit more news, Funkhauser.
Okay. Sure. Fine. Yeah, because I'm always ready. I'm like a mailman.
Mm-hmm. You can level with me. You were working on Nikki Sixx's show, right?
Are we doing
You're
a
like,
show right now?
Yeah, these guys are going to talk forever. I can do some work for the taskmaster that is the bass player of Motley Crue.
Hey,
sure.
Which I'm okay with. I just did get to say that I share a producer with the bass player of Motley Crue, and I feel like we're big and important around here. What else is going on? It is. What else is going on in the world, Funkhauser?
ABC has appointed the first black woman ever to run a broadcast network.
And let me be the first to say congratulations, Wayne Brady. That's not true. He's not black.
Oh, that's funny.
You guys,
man. Whoa.
Are you guys Wayne Brady fans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you answer that?
See, I know it's a tough question to answer, but
is anyone a Wayne Brady superfan though?
Well, I became one in England because he used to be on that show, Whose Line Is It Anyway? The awesome English version of it before it came over here, and was still, to be fair, pretty awesome in its own way. And I was just like, who's this guy? He's a freaking genius. He's hilarious. He can do anything. He can sing. He can dance. He can act. He's one of those people that I was just like, how is this guy not like running a bigger chunk of the world than he's running? That said, I'm sure
because then Drew Carey came along.
Right? Yeah, I'm sure he. I'm sure he lives in a nice house and drives a nicer car than we do, so that's okay. What else, Funkhauser?
Pam Anderson says she wants to be with someone again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, get ready to be really, 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 really busy, Centers for Disease Control. You know the sex tape she made with Tommy Lee?
I heard of it.
Oh, she did a sex tape?
Yeah. Yeah, the reason why I always refer to honking the horn Tommy Lee style when I'm in the car. Think about it. There it is. I think they made that sex tape back in the day when they were trying to reproduce. That was like they decided to make home porn while while attempting to conceive their child. And
so respectful.
So respectful.
Children.
Documentarians there. Documentarians.
And like, it's weird because Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee's kid that I'm guessing sprang from their loins right around that time is old and working now. It's kind of crazy to think about it. Like, I think he's like 18 years old now, and he's got some gig being a model for some brand or something like that, which is just bananas to think about it. Like, we all saw the home porn in which you were conceived. Yeah. Really strange.
Hey, weren't there reports of Kid Rock, like, watching the kids while Pamela Anderson went out, partied and stuff like that? He would stay at home with the kids and stuff?
I think... Well...
with the bottle.
Kid Rock married Pamela Anderson. Did he marry her twice? I think he might have married her twice. I know he married her once, or they were engaged and broke up and then got married. Something, but it did not stick.
I can see that happening. I don't know him, but I have friends that know him. I've just always thought that he's probably not what you see. Like, he's probably just like a pretty chill dude, and like kind of a good guy.
We talk about this a lot on the show. Like, Kid Rock endorsed Obama first time Obama ran for president. Didn't like his first 4 years in office, and then he's like, I'm going to endorse Romney. Right. And I think this time out he's endorsing Trump, and people gave him flack. They're like, how could you be endorsing Obama? How could you be endorsing Romney after you endorsed Obama? And he was like, everybody just chill the hell out.
Right.
Like, I believe something, I voted a certain way. It doesn't mean that I'm an evil a-hole that hates America, and if you voted differently from me, that doesn't affect what I think of you as a person. You have some different beliefs, but we probably want the same stuff. And he said this on CNN when he was interviewed on CNN. I was just like, holy crap, what stage are we at in our political history where Kid Rock, Mr. Ba Ba Ba, I'm the Bull God, the Stone Cold Pimp of the Nation, is the voice of reason. He's the cooler head that's prevailing. Strange.
It's because things have gotten so radically, partisan and divisive in this country, man. It's like we're rabid. We're not. I don't know. It's like the political scene is a football game, and you're yelling and cussing at the umpire or the ref. no concern whether he was right, whether it was a good call. It's just, it's against my team, so you're an a-hole, you know?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
No, it is crazy. I really like people like you who, staunch conservative, staunch, sort of libertarian, very, very into the things that you are into that a lot of people could categorize as being right-wing, yet able to go hang out and be friends with literally anyone in hippy-dippy tofu sprout-eating California,
Oh, totally. I argue with them constantly. My liberal friends, they have the best in mind. I disagree completely with the liberal, like their tactics, the Democratic Party. I mean, I can't imagine if you ran as a Democrat, I probably wouldn't vote for you. But I wouldn't think that you're evil and you're trying to destroy America. Now, maybe Obama, since he has been caught with books talking about destroying America, but not every Democrat or liberal or most of them have good intentions in mind. As a lot of the conservatives I know, but then they demonize that the left demonizes the right, and so they're all devils, they're all mean, they hate poor people, they hate black people. No, they just have a different way of doing things than you.
I think one of the best things to keep in mind, and something that we try and keep in mind on this show at all times, is like, we all kind of want the same stuff. Like your average decent human being American wants the same stuff. We all want a home that we can call our own, a roof over our heads, security for us and our children, and a bit of a life. The American dream looks pretty similar to a lot of people, and we all want the same stuff. We just have different ideas of the best way to get there. And if we bear that in mind, maybe we can learn something from one another.
Yeah, love each other.
Love each other. Randall Reeder, we have loved having you on the show. Let's do this again real soon. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you haven't seen Randall in Deadpool, go do it. Fat Gandalf!
Times you feel like it's cool to turn the other cheek and give people the benefit of the doubt even when they don't deserve it. And sometimes you feel good about yourself for being a better person and doing that. Well, this is not one of those times. I don't think you realize what's on my mind. I've been too nice for way too long.